Welcome back to the Relatable Black Girl, where I'm your host Simone, and on this episode, I want to talk about singlehood, loneliness, and living alone. Singlehood for me has been the best thing that ever happened to me. It's helped me grow a lot as a person, and I took time to reflect on like my past relationships and look at the things that I feel like I did wrong and also the things that I feel like they did wrong. But I feel like I've grown so much as a person with being single. And a lot of it is from just working on myself, like mentally and emotionally. I read this really good book about um, becoming the person that you would want to date. And I have like another episode about like romanticizing your life. And I basically became that person for myself. And I'm the person that I depend on, and I'm the person that I get my strength from, my positive self talk from, and I don't look at it as a burden. I think before I felt like me only having me, like that sucks, that's hard. I need someone else. And you do need other people in your life. Like you need a support system. But I'm talking like romantically. I really realized that when I was in relationships, I didn't feel like a lot of my emotional and intellectual needs were being met. And so now when I date, I look for people who I feel like are intellectually and spiritually on the same path as me, and also intimately. And I'm not talking like sexual when I say intimately. Um, if I feel like, hey, this doesn't align with who I am as a person, it's so much easier for me to walk away. And it's so much easier for me to pick up on signs that people are not good for me in my life. Where before I think I ignored the signs and I just wanted to see the good in people. My life doesn't begin or end with nobody but myself. And I think learning to be alone, learning to be single, and still be happy is really important because you can stay in really toxic situations just because you don't want to be alone or feel like you have someone there. And that's why I'm never envious of other people in their relationships, because a lot of times when I get close to women and they kind of like confide in me, the things that they're dealing with, I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. But if you feel like it's worth it because you want to be with this person, then I understand that, because nobody's perfect, and there's no such thing as a perfect relationship. But I have a clear understanding of what I do not want to tolerate. I have a clear understanding of how I want someone to show up for me, because I am someone who is very kind. I am very genuine, and I'm a very giving person. So I have to be extremely cautious, because that type of person, you attract users, you attract manipulators, you attract people with ulterior motives who are trying to keep you around for financial or emotional or maybe for an image. There's a lot of men out here that are DL, and they are looking for women so that they can be perceived a certain way. And you got to be cautious of all of these things. And I feel like I catch things so early on, or sometimes I just have this feeling of like, I've been through this before and I already know how this story plays out. I don't want to date a man who isn't emotionally mature. I don't want to date a man who's living a double life. You know, I have to stop making excuses for people and their behavior. And I would say, if you want to love someone, love your damn self. That's the best person you can love, is you. That's the best thing you can do for you, is just love yourself and stop trying to depend on other people for so much support. And I think I stopped taking things so seriously too, and taking things personal. Um, that helped me a lot. And I know we hear it so much, like, don't take anything personal, and that shit is life changing. Not taking things personal is literally life changing, because I just look at things like, oh well, okay. Like, I'm so focused on me and my happiness, and I'm focused on the people who are also supporting that, because relationships outside of romantic relationships are very, very important. And I think that plays a big role in feeling alone or like loneliness, because a lot of the times when women are in relationships, even though they're physically with a man, they emotionally are like dependent on their female friends most of the time, not all the time. Some people out here are really happy, okay? Some people are in relationships and they're really happy and they're really satisfied, but a lot of people still depend on their homegirls for the emotional aspect, and sometimes the spiritual and intellectual aspect as well, you know, where the man is more like of the like physical. So I think that when it comes down to loneliness, you should focus on relationships that are platonic, because they matter and they're important. It's important to have platonic relationships with people in your life and you feel supported by them, you feel seen, and you feel heard. Me having such a good support system, I feel like has saved me from a lot of bad situations. I'm not out here just doing anything just to say I have someone with me or just to not feel alone. Like, you need a support system, you need a good friend, you need, because I know everybody don't have relationships with like their mom and their dad or real relationships with their siblings. I'm lucky that I don't have that problem. I have a really great relationship with my mom and I have a really great relationships with my siblings, so I have a really good support system in that way. But I know that's not everybody's situation, but you need a good support system. You really do. Because if you don't, then you'll find yourself just ending up in those same situations. And like I said, learn from your mistakes. Learn from them and do better. And I'm not the type of person to be like, oh my God, I dodged a bullet with this person, I dodged a bullet with that person. No, I saw who that person was and it did not align with who I am, but it might align with someone else, just not me. And I'm not focusing on, oh, I gotta go do better. I'm gonna find somebody that look nicer, that's taller, that got more money. Like, no, I'm gonna find someone that aligns with who I am as a person. I don't have to move from like a malicious point of view. I don't look at myself as karma, or I'm not a revengeful person. I like to make peace with situations and move forward. Hey, that's not for me. This person isn't for me. Let me let it go and let me like move on with my life. And getting into living alone, I love living alone. I have zero complaints about living alone. I love having my own space. I come from a really big family, so I've always had to share space with other people. So it feels good to have my own space. It feels good to leave things and it's where I left it. Nobody's eating my food, nobody's wearing my clothes, child. Okay, that feels good. I feel like being single, I also save a lot of money too. I mean, I know the girls love to say, I need a man to take care of me, or my man pays for everything. But I feel like realistically, being in a relationship, I pay for a lot of things just like the guys I talk to pay for a lot of things. I feel like I have so much more money now. And like the light bill is so cheap now, okay? Because them guys sitting on the game all day, yeah, no. My light bill is like so much better. Um, and like I said, I feel like I always have more money because I'm not like considering someone else or like, and it also helped me treat myself better too. Like when I'm talking about treating myself, like as in like spending money, like buying myself things where Before, I would have somebody in my ear kind of like telling me like, oh, that's a waste of money, or this is a waste of money, or or I want to get food from a certain spot after work, but I have to bring some for my partner too, and I don't want to stop at two places, and he doesn't want to eat this, and da 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 da. Or even if I'm being cheap to myself, and I'm like, girl, you were just in a whole relationship spending money on a man. Buy that for yourself, okay? If you had the money to spend it on him or to spend it for him, girl, you got it for you too. So, yeah. I see like a lot of like talk about like singlehood and loneliness and living alone, and I just really wanted to give like my 2 cents on it. I have found so much happiness and so much peace being alone, but I have also worked really hard on building genuine connections with people, seeing people for who they are, and putting people in the right category in my life. This is who I go to concerts with. This is who I travel with. This is my favorite homegirl at work. Like, I find myself gravitating and liking people because I feel like, oh my God, they're so mature. Like, I love the way you handle situations. I like the way you carry yourself. I like who you are as a person. And sometimes those people are not the initial people who are coming up to you and talking to you and want to be your friend. Some of those people who are like trying hard to be a friend and, oh, go out with me, and those are some of the worst people, okay? The people who are more laid back and chill, and they have an understanding that relationships take time and they let it slowly progress over time. Those are the people I like, okay? Those are the people that I like. But yeah, it's literally like 4 in the morning. I have to work today. I kind of had this on my mind when I was going to bed, just thinking about how much being single has helped me grow as a person, how much positivity and love that I've been giving to myself, and just regulating myself and my emotions. And I just had to like just get up on here and just like really just say how I feel really quick. I know I don't post often, but I'm gonna try to post like more often because I love these little chats. And it's like a diary for me. I like go back and like listen to like different episodes and like what I'm talking about. Oh, and this is the last thing that I want to say. A good way of dealing with loneliness, singlehood, and living alone is completely closing the door on situations that do not serve you. Like completely shutting that door and letting that person know, like, hey, there's no possibility that we would ever be a thing again or that you could ever come back here. That is so important. Like, close that door, keep it closed, move forward because God has something better for you. Like, something better, something more aligned with who you are as a person. Like, don't be afraid to shut those doors. Don't sit around wondering, like, oh, what if? Or, no. If was a fifth, we'll all be drunk. Like, do not sit around and think about the possibilities with someone that isn't treating you right, or especially with someone that you're not even really communicating with that person. Like, yeah, do not be thinking about what ifs. See things for what they are and be realistic, be logical, be kind to yourself. Okay? Be kind, give yourself grace, vent, talk to a good friend, and focus on recovery. Don't focus on the heartache or how painful it is or how hurtful it is. Acknowledge your feelings, but then immediately focus on what helps you recover. For me, I'm going to hit the gym. I'm going to take a 5 mile walk. I'm going to read a good book. I'm going to watch my favorite TV show. I'm going to go hang out with someone. Like, whatever I need in that moment to help me start recovering from the situation. Don't focus on the trauma. Focus on the recovery. I'm Simone. This is the Relatable Black Girl. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm going to try to be more consistent and post more often. I be seeing that I get a lot of listens, mainly like on like the podcasting channels. but even when I'm not posting. So thank you guys. And I'll see you guys next time.